for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
Right.
Nice. I'm happy to be here.
Right. So about a week ago, I had a conversation with the PRO of this organization. So the position of your group is clear, which is that the bill cannot be passed because there is a difference between indigenship and citizenship. I mean, you've also said Nigeria is an amalgamation of ethnic nations, not a melting pot. So I guess the next question would be your reaction to the withdrawal of the bill. Do you believe the withdrawal was influenced more by public opinion, political pressure, or genuine legislative concerns?
All of the above. Public opinion.
Sale gift card on Andog. Sale Apple and iTunes on Andog is so fast.
Overheat the overheated Nigerian polity, and to ensure that we can actually have a very relaxed environment and atmosphere where we can discuss things like good roads, good health care, and we are not going to be talking about how we are going to use a piece of paper to determine who is an indigene or not of a particular place where people have been living for people have been existing for over 1,000 years. So thank you very much.
Right, but how does your group plan to move forward? You know, after the bill's withdrawal, will the group continue to advocate for indigenship rights through other means or legislative efforts?
Thank you very much. TYF organization, Think Yoruba First organization. We are Hawoists, and when I say we are Hawoists, we believe that Nigeria is made up of indigenous people. Nigeria is not a secular colony. So everybody within the Nigerian Federation, whether the ethnicity is 2 million, 1 million, 4 million, should have the ability to control their space politically, because we understand what Nigeria is. Now, going forward, what will TYF, Think Yoruba First organization, be doing? What we've been doing for the past few years is through peaceful means, lobbying, engaging our political leaders, especially from the Yoruba-speaking part of Nigeria, and also aligning when there is need with other ethnic nationalities across the South, across the South, even like across the East, and across the Middle Belt, across the Northwest, across the Northeast, in order to have an harmonized consensus on things as regards national questions, like the issue of the indigenous bill. So there are other things that we are still advocating for. State police is part of there, which the presidency, President Bolarinwa Tinubu, has also accepted.
Right. So we'll come back to that in a moment. But let's stay on this, because if I'm to go back to what Honorable Benjamin Kalu and other proponents of the bill had said, they thought it would foster unity by granting indigenship to Nigerians who had lived in the state for at least 10 years or are married to a native. I mean, they thought it would, reduce exclusion, avoid this entrenched discrimination, and a step toward national integration. But now that it's been withdrawn, how do you propose balancing the protection of indigenous rights with the need for national unity and inclusion?
Thank you very much. The first thing we need to first understand that there's a difference between citizenship and indigenship. Now, being a Nigerian gives you access, freedom of movement, many rights all across Nigeria. There is nobody that is going to come on here to say, if you're a Nigerian, you are not allowed to live anywhere. It is impossible. So there is already citizenship rights. Now, within the Nigerian Constitution, 1999 as amended, we also have what we call federal character. The federal character also caters for people that are underprivileged, educational-wise, economic-wise, things like that. We also, even within the federal government, there's a federal government intervention for states, subnational units that are struggling. So there is no need. We do not have this need to be talking about indigenship. Now, let me not to be talking about how we are going to legislate on indigenship. Now, let me now even go straight into why TYF said we are never going to accept such bill. There is no place in the world where people legislate indigenship. Indigenship is not what you get through a piece of paper. And I'm going to give one example, two examples. Because when people try to talk about Nigeria, they try to say, let's use Sena climbs and let's talk about patriotism. I'm going to use two examples, one in America and one in Europe. First example is United States of America. The first settlers, European settlers, that got to the United States of America got there, settled in Plymouth. They created the Plymouth colony 400 years ago. And they've been there for 400 years. Till today, till date, the white Americans do not call themselves indigenous of America. In fact, they created reserves, special places, special enclaves, where there are special laws, tax-free zones for the indigenous people of the United States of America. It is in the United States Constitution. So the white settlers that have been ruling the place called United States of America for 400 years, it's not even 10 years, 400 good years, they fought, they bled, and defended that place. Could do not call themselves indigenous.
Right.
Indigenous.
I mean, permit me to jump in here. Did you think the proponents of this bill thought about some of these challenges inherent in this bill, or it was just about national integration for them?
They were not well informed. They were not well informed because, like I said, we are Hawoists. If you read Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who is one of the best Nigerian nationalists out there in the history of this country, this beautiful country called Nigeria, he proposed, he was a prophet, was a seer. He saw what we are currently discussing today. And he said, all right, for Nigeria to be balanced, for Nigeria to be peaceful, where there will not be majority versus minority question, where people are not going to be threatened, and where larger groups are not going to subsume smaller groups. He said he used the example of the Switzerland model. Now, the Switzerland model, Switzerland is one of the best, most prosperous, most peaceful, most balanced countries in the world. Switzerland as a country has been existing for over 300 years. It has witnessed the war of this great French general, Napoleon Bonaparte, saw the First World War, saw the Second World War. Yet, Switzerland is made up of 4 ethnic nations, which we call tribes. We do not use the word tribes because tribe is a derogatory term. Nigeria is made up of ethnic nations. There is no tribe in Nigeria, even if that ethnic group is just 1,000 people. So Switzerland, I've been to Switzerland, and in Switzerland there are 4 regions: the German, the Italians, the French, and the Romans. Right. They speak their language, they have their legislature, and they are still united.
All right, I hear you, Mr. Oladimeji.
I want you to give me just one more example.
All right.
One more example. The largest democracy in the world, the biggest and the largest democracy in the world that's been existing for the past 50 years is India. Over 1.6 billion people. What model of governance is India using? India is so diverse, from color to skin tone to religion, but India practices what we call ethno-linguistic federalism.
But you must also understand that this is Nigeria. This is Nigeria, and we have our own peculiarities. But still on this, because critics argue that regional agendas in this case, we'll talk about efforts or policies that prioritize the interest of a specific ethnic group, geopolitical zone, or cultural bloc can undermine the delicate fabric of national unity in a multi-ethnic country like Nigeria. I mean, while it's natural and sometimes necessary for regions to protect their identity, resources, and development priorities, when these agendas become dominant or exclusionary, it threatens national unity. How would you respond to those concerns?
Thank you. The question I want to ask you, my beautiful sister, is this. Nigeria says it is a secular country. Why are we having Sharia law, theocratic laws in the northern part of Nigeria? Is that not against the fundamentals of where the founding fathers of this country, what they fought for? Now, Nigeria did not start in 1999. It started since the 1914 amalgamation. What was our history between 1914 and 1960? What pains people like us is when we want to talk about national question, we forget the role of history. History should be the guiding light and the guiding torch of any country in the world. But somehow, some people always want to forget the role of history in the future of Nigeria. Now, I want to go back into history. Between one of the reasons why the First Republic failed, and we went to that unfortunate civil war. I don't pray, we pray, we don't pray for a civil war again in Nigeria. Why did we go to that civil war? We went to that civil war because of the minority question. Yeah, what was the minority question? In 1961, that was when Southern Cameroon was supposed to be part of Nigeria today. Why did they leave? They left Nigeria because they did not want to be dominated by the East. I don't want to mention any ethnicity because we're on national television.
All right. So
the second thing is The second thing is the thief riots. What that happened in 1961? According to the book written by this wonderful scholar, Barrister Dele Ogun, The Fatherless Children, more than 50,000 people were killed in 1961. What happened to the thief? What happened in thief riot? The thief riot was because the ethnic minorities that are in the Middle Belt today, that call themselves Middle Belt today, they do not want to be part of the northern Nigeria.
All right.
They wanted to have their own region within Nigeria. That was the peculiarity. I'm coming.
Quickly. I mean, you've said a lot, Mr. Oladimeji. My name is Olajimoke. But do you believe the Yoruba political class is united in its vision for the Yoruba agenda, or are there internal divisions?
Okay, thank you very much.
And also,
when you said quickly, Yoruba,
kindly hold on. To answer that, what role should Southwest governors, lawmakers, and traditional rulers play?
I'm going to be very nice with our Southwest governors. The Southwest governors, they've done well. I've been observing the zonal hearing for the constitutional hearing, both for senators and the House of Reps. And TYF as an institution, as an organization, we participated. Even we were in Abuja. The Southwest governors, they've asked for state police. They've asked for devolution of power, decentralization of power. Those are the things that we Awoists, we want. And I also want to thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for creating the Regional Development Commission, because it's under for that one. And secondly, to thank the president for implementing one of the things that were decided at the 2014 National Conference, which was bringing back our initial national anthem. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. It shows Nigeria is an amalgamation of ethnic nations, but we are all Nigerians. So the Southwest governors, they are doing great. We've talked to our Obas, they are with us. Many of governors also speak the same language, which is decentralized Nigeria, devolve power. So it's been a wonderful situation so far.
I mean, what about the issue of insecurity, which is a major concern? I mean, the case for state police in Nigeria had been on the front burner. And in the Southwest, for instance, where, traditional leaders, civil rights, civil society groups have reported a rise in kidnappings, armed robbery, banditry, and former herded conflicts, particularly in Ekiti, Osun, Oyo, and the surrounding states. Are the Southwest governors doing enough individually, or would you say they've slept for too long? How do we tighten our loose end at this point?
Thank you. Just few days ago, there was I think United Nations was declaring the World Amotekun Day. That was like a kind of international recognition of what Amotekun has done. The last time I was in Nigeria, almost all the personal securities, day-to-day neighborhood, people prefer to call Amotekun. And Amotekun is the brainchild of Southwest governors. Lagos also have something called the Lagos neighborhood security corp, neighborhood watch or something like that. And I can say this, even though we know the insecurity challenges in Nigeria, the Southwest is the most secure region in Nigeria. Can they do more? Yes. And how can they do more? Because we have to commend our political elite when they do the right thing. And Amatekun is a success. Other regions have tried to copy the template of Amatekun, but they could not do it. Because every region has its own peculiarities, which is why we talk about decentralization of the security architecture, state police, and all the rest. So what does Amatekun need? Amatekun needs to be properly armed, funding, properly armed, so that they can recruit more people. They can be properly trained, they can be properly armed, in order that they can also help in help the federal policing structure in securing the lives of all Nigerians, whether Yoruba or not, living within the space called Yoruba land of Nigeria, the southwest of Nigeria. Thank you.
All right. And I went through the constitution of your organization, and I see that the group is particularly about local government autonomy. It says, and I quote, "True federalism is incomplete without a vibrant, empowered third tier of government. Nigeria's over-centralized structure has failed to deliver development where it's most needed." End quote. I mean, despite the Supreme Court's ruling, many state governments still cannot or still retain control over local government funds. Why do you think the judgment hasn't translated into real change on the ground? Is this failure due to constitutional loopholes, political resistance, or a lack of enforcement mechanisms?
I'm listening.
Yes, that's the question.
Okay. Unfortunately, there's politics. There's politics everywhere. And this is where politics comes in. And the political situation of Nigeria has really hampered the full implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. But I still believe before 2031, before the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, leaves the office, there will be full implementation of the local government autonomy, because we know he's an Awoist, we know he's a federalist. And the reason why local government is so important is because it is the closest tier of government with the common man at the grassroots level. That is actually where things happen. Primary health care center and every other thing, security, market, and every other thing. So we believe the politicians will play politics. In the next 4 years, we believe there will be consensus and there will be full implementation of the Supreme Court judgment.
All right. I mean, quickly before I let you go, Ms. Oladimeji, it's still on that, because many observers blame state governors for blocking autonomy. What is the organization's response to this dynamic? Should citizens and cultural organizations begin to hold state governments more accountable on this issue? Quickly, sir.
Okay, it's a two-pronged approach. The first approach is social pressures, political pressure, lobbying, and trying to convince our governors to accept the Supreme Court judgment. Also, there is a current constitutional amendment that is ongoing.
All right.
The reason why we have a situation in the first place where the state governors are not obeying Supreme Court judgment as I went due, it is because of the lacunas in the Nigerian Constitution in 1999, which many people have criticized. So we believe, let me round. So we believe that after the constitutional amendment, because we believe that the current amendment is going to yield positive results.
All right.
By then, there will be full implementation.
All right. Thank you very much. Great conversation. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with Oladimeji Bolarinwa, President Think Yoruba First. Thank you so much for your
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye. Now let's take another break and start